The Historic Wilmington Foundation has done a tremendous job over a number of years in preserving the history of our community. The historic districts that were created, that they helped carve out, the advocacy for historic tax credits, and the advocacy just to save buildings and make people aware of the historic significance of the building, and also trying to find funds whenever they could to preserve those historic structures.
I'm Rick Lawson, Executive Director of the Children's Museum of Wilmington. About 4 years ago, we had a leak in our roof that was incredible, and being a nonprofit, it was overwhelming to us. And we know we need to protect this beautiful place, built in 1800. When you think about history and preservation in Wilmington, you think about the Historic Wilmington Foundation. They lent us the money to get the roof done and save it. Their entire board came down here and stood on these steps, and then we had about 75 or 80 kids coming in for a field trip. And I tell you, it was a sweet moment for them to present us this check to enable us to protect this building. This is just too important and too special to let harm come to it.
Without them, it would make our job as elected officials even harder, because the pressures to redevelop our city in a certain way, to tear down the structure, oh, that's easy, we can just tear down that structure, would be very easy for some elected officials to say, well, go ahead and do it. But the Historic Wilmington Foundation says each one of these buildings plays a significant role in the history of our community and our city.
As of today, we have 575 plaques on houses, commercial buildings all over Wilmington and New Hanover County. And I'm hoping that in our 50th anniversary year, we will reach 600 or more plaques. And the plaque program is so important because it's the most visible thing that the Historic Wilmington Foundation does. Anytime you see a plaque, you stop and read it, you think about the good things that are going on in the Historic Wilmington Foundation. Plaques are not only the history of the building, but the history of Wilmington, because we combine architecture and the family history of the people that lived and built the various buildings.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Weiss, owner of the City Club of Wilmington, and the De Rosé House, which was built in 1841, 1842, has been a cornerstone of downtown Wilmington for many, many years. It was actually in great disrepair for a long time and was rescued by the Historic Wilmington Foundation, which made it their home from 1975 until 1997, when we bought the building and turned it into the City Club. The club has gone through several extensive renovations over the years. Original homeowner, Dr. Armand De Rosé, built the house with entertaining people in mind, and now 170 some odd years later, we're using it for the same purposes. We have many parties. I think the De Rosés would love what we've done with the club.
My name is Reverend Wayne Arthur Johnson Sr., and I'm pastor of Historic St. Stephen African Methodist Episcopal Church. Our historic congregation is the beneficiary of great support from the Historic Wilmington Foundation. The foundation assists many congregations, many places in the city with preservation of historic sites. These historic buildings and places of worship are near and dear the heart of Wilmingtonians, and we appreciate the wonderful support that we are given by the foundation, and we are grateful and thankful for this opportunity just to say something in behalf of Historic Wilmington Foundation.
Well, the advocacy that the Historic Wilmington Foundation, as well as a lot of historic foundations, have had across the state in bringing back the historic tax credits to the state of North Carolina was extremely valuable. It is harder to restore and remodel historic homes and historic buildings, but when a developer or a citizen understands that they can get a certain percentage of that back, it makes it easier for them to move forward and do this.
Legacy Architectural Salvage is a special program of the Historic Wilmington Foundation. About 9 years ago, their salvage operation went out of business due to loss of their space. And so Legacy is the rebooting of that salvage operation. We do accept things as donations: doors, windows, mantles, trim, molding, doorknobs, any kind of hardware. We even got a kitchen sink. So anything, even the kitchen sink. And then we sell these items at a price that's a good value for the customer so that they can be reused in modern homes as well as historic homes. The goal is to preserve the homes if possible. But if that is not going to happen, we certainly want to preserve the components within the homes.
I think the work today is even more important with the pressures that we have as a community with buildings and different types of architecture, and people wanting to come in and in some cases want to tear down buildings. The preservation of these structures and the preservation of the historic fabric of our community makes Wilmington even more appealing today because of that work. And we have to constantly be vigilant of the fact that once a building is gone, it's gone.
My name is Travis Matthews, and I'm the Social Studies and World Language Curriculum Specialist for New Hanover County Schools. I also oversee the Tar Heels Go Walking field trip. Tar Heels Go Walking starts at the fire station on Market Street. We stop at the Bellamy, we take a look at Thalian Hall. All along we're taking a look at various forms of architecture, and I can honestly say that the partnership we have created with the Historic Wilmington Foundation has made this trip absolutely outstanding. The HWF provides educated, civic-minded tour guides to lead our students around, teaching them about the cultural and historical roots of this city. I can't say enough good things about the partnership, and indeed, the survey that is done at the end of the year, our teachers have given it incredible marks.
I congratulate them on 50 years of great work for our community. Wilmington wouldn't be the place it is without them. On behalf of all of the citizens of Wilmington, everything that you folks have done to preserve the historic quality and integrity of our community, thank you and keep up the great work.